Hey everybody, it's Steve Owens and Daniel Davis. We're the directors for the Tennessee Bass Nation Kayak Series. This is the captain's meeting for the first event for the 2022 season, which is December the 4th, 2021 on Del Hollow. I want to touch a few key points of the rules, but before we do that, I want to get into what you're qualifying for. This season, we were lucky enough to be able to come up with 5 events. Each event is a $75 entry fee, and $5 of that will go into a hog farmer, bait company, big bass prize, which will have a cash stipend added from them as well. From these 5 events, this is how you will qualify for our state championship late August on Lake Chickamauga again. And from that state championship, 10% of that field will go on and fish the championship held in conjunction with the Bassmaster Classic in 2023. So you're not fishing this series to qualify for the event in March in South Carolina. How you qualify for that state championship is, of the 5 events, the top 15 anglers in each event will qualify for a state championship. We'll dip into the Cast State Championship, which, for those of you that don't know, is our very organized, hyper-competitive grassroots series we have here in Tennessee. That championship in and of itself has 100 anglers per year in it almost now. It's been around for a while. So to help us further support our series and then as well help you anglers fishing in the Tennessee Bass Nation events, partner with the Cast clubs who run parallel with us. We'll take the top 3 of each club's Angler of the Year at the end of their season. That'll qualify you for the state championship as well. It's a good partnership that worked good for us last year. And then to add to that support of the grassroots, we are taking the top 15 from the 2021 Cast State Championship will qualify as well. What that should do, hopefully, at the end of the year is get us a state championship of around 100 anglers, which is kind of the key number that the cities look for when we ask them for sponsorship support. This season, out of the 5 events, your top 3 events will qualify you for the Angler of the Year race. That's sponsored by Carl Black Chevrolet in Kennesaw, Georgia, as well as the dealership in Nashville, Tennessee. We're very fortunate and blessed to have them as a big money sponsor there. I feel like $1,000 is a pretty good thing to chase for your season. So it'll help us, return the investment that you put into us, as well as, you get a chance to help us by coming and fishing more than just one event if you qualify for the state championship. Each event, to fish, you need to be a Tennessee Bass Nation member. And in order to do that, the first thing you have to do is join Bass. That's the national level series. As we've explained before, Bass does not own Bass Nation. Bass Nation feeds into Bass. So you fish the Bass Nation series out of the boat to qualify for the Bassmaster Classic event. So, but the first thing you have to do, essentially, it's $45 a year to fish this trail series. The first $15 is on you to register yourself on the Bassmaster website. Once you do that, you'll be given a 9-digit identification number. You get that identification number to myself or Daniel Davis along with $30, either $30 cash when you see us, or preferably send it Venmo or PayPal, friends and family. We'll get in touch with you on how to do that. And once you've done that, that satisfies you nationwide. So we also run the Georgia Bass Nation Kayak Series. So once you've paid your dues in Georgia or Tennessee, that Bass Nation dues covers you for the entire country. So we don't have a state dues in either state. So once you pay that $45 total, you're allowed to fish both state series with no extra fees there. Also, along with the Angler of the Year points that you get with each event, we've gotten a lot of really good sponsors this year. We're really hyped about that. And when we make our posts and things that go along with this on social media, you'll see us put their hashtags and their name hyperlinks on there. When you get prizes at our meetings, we'd appreciate you if you would do a repost of your day, put up a few pictures and put their name in that, because they track it. And when they track it, it helps us get to do this next year with them. So one of the first things we have is Douglas rods. Douglas rods make really good rods. Both of us have tested them and fished them before we brought them into the Dugout Bait and Tackle shop. Really good rods. We're going to go with the LRS models. Those are anywhere from $200 to $220, and we have one per event in Tennessee and Georgia. We're really excited about that. NetBait has stepped in and included a really good soft plastics packet for us to do. We mentioned Hog Farmer and as a big bass sponsor. Along with that, we've got a Dakota lithium battery that will be awarded each event. We've got a Newport Vessels NK180 paired with Dakota lithium batteries that will be given away at the state championship. We have one objective as part of our sponsorship crew. We've got Spro USA, which includes Gamakatsu. We've got Seaguar fluorocarbon that's going to be handed out at every event. Again, NetBait's going to set us up with soft plastics and probably some of their jigs from Freedom Tackle, as well as Scum Frog and Bobby's Perfect Frogs. Z-Man's partnered with us as well. Eventually we'll have product coming from them. And our two title sponsors are Dugout Bait and Tackle in Marietta, Georgia, along with John Deere Ag Pro stepping in there. So you know anyone that needs any bait and tackle, high-end rods and reels, kayak accessories, or kayaks, let us know. Dugout's a high-end bait and tackle store, but they sell everything. We sell Hobies and Jackson kayaks, Newport motors, along with Torpedo and Motor Guide. Do a full custom rigging center down there with lights and electronics, Garmin, Humminbird, Lowrance fish finders. Anything you can need, we can get it for you and get it put on at a good price. And then Ag Pro, yard tractors, things of that nature. Just reach out to us and we can get you situated with them. From there, the last thing I want to touch on is this weekend, fishing in conjunction with us is the Central Tennessee Kayak Anglers Club. That's one of the grassroots cast clubs that I've mentioned. Essentially, they're going to have the same rules, the same exact times that we have, and they'll be checking in with us as well. So there's a good chance to double dip there and support that grassroots club. Their entry fee is on Tourney X as well, and it's a $30 entry fee and a $10 big bass. So for $40 total, you can fish that one as well and take home an even bigger check. So I'm going to turn it over to Daniel Davis. This is the official captain's meeting for Del Hollow. You'll need to listen to everything that he says, as well as find either on Tourney X page. There's a link down at the bottom when you register for you to look over the rules, which will be downloadable. And there's some differences between our rules and the master rules across the Bass Nation regional series. Ours are a little different. There's things that we do that they don't do on the Bass series. And some of the main things are hand placement on the fish. We allow a lot. You can do the tail, you can do no hand, your identifier just needs to be in the photograph. And there are a few other differences, not anything very major, but it's your responsibility to download those and read those. They're also on the Facebook page, or reach out to one of us and we'll get them emailed to you quickly. So again, this is the captain's meeting for this Saturday. I'll turn it over to Daniel.
All right, all times are going to be Central Standard Time. Launch is going to be 6 a.m. Lines in is going to be 6:30. Lines out is going to be 2:30. Upload your last submission by 3:30, and then check-in is going to be at 4:30 at the River Grill. The address for the River Grill is on the Tourney X page. We encourage participation at check-in. So it's going to be a 5-fish limit. You have to use a catch board or a hog trough. Your ID code can be written on a card or your hand. The ID code will actually be uploaded on the Tourney X site. It'll be in red. We'll also post it to the event pages. So PFD has to be on at all times. Make sure that you follow all state, local laws and Coast Guard. So make sure that you actually have a whistle with you. Make sure that your lights on, 360 lights or lights that are seen on all sides of your kayak if it's not safe light. If you do not have a light, make sure that it's, I think sunup's actually 6:38 a.m. So make sure that you got plenty of safe light before you actually launch. Do not rotate or edit your pictures at all. That can actually cause a disqualification of that fish. And again, you can look up the rules on the event page or, on our Facebook page, and we can actually email those over to you. So like Steve-O said, the biggest thing that we do between Bassmaster and us is that we do allow hands on the fish. You can, move the tail to get the best length that you can out of that fish. Make sure that the fish is unharmed. If the fish actually has a janky eye, I actually caught one last year on Dale Hollow. Make sure to take a video of the fish coming off the board and, it's swimming off safely. We're not doing KVF, as far as that goes. We just, that one fish, you gotta do that for. So make sure that it's gonna be, the fish orientation is gonna be left to right. In other words, tip to the left and tail on the right, belly to belly, dorsal fin up. And that's pretty much it as far as the rules go. And as Steve-O said, the cast rules pretty much mirrored this. If you have a motor, make sure that you've actually got, if it is dark, make sure that you got your red and green up front as well. So that pretty much concludes the rule portion of our captain's meeting.
Yeah, and I want to touch on, Daniel brought up motors. We are a motorized option club, and we're grateful to be able to do that. With that comes a lot of newness for a lot of anglers. So if you have any questions, reach out to someone. A lot of these anglers know as much or more than we do about things. But when you're on the water, don't let that motor give you a false sense of security. When you're crossing main lake channels and things like that, you see oncoming boats come. You can't take for granted that they see you. So use your best judgment. Don't try to race them to an area to where that you have a collision or things like that. Also be very mindful of wind and chop and waves in the water, because our kayaks, while they're super stable to us, when you actually get under propulsion like that and that motor kicks a certain way or another, it can actually turn into a situation where you get dumped. So make sure you got your kill switch put on and things like that. Emergency stop if you're not supposed to say kill switch, but just things like that. Make sure that you know what you're doing, and if you're uncomfortable, don't use it. They're a great necessity or a great accessory, but they're not a necessity. So, but again, use extreme caution in everything that you do. Reach out to us. Where we're at, cell signal may be a little sketchy, so text can travel a lot easier with less data or less cell signal than a phone call. But there again, as he mentioned, when you get your fish put up, that's your responsibility to make certain that photograph is correct. If it gets disqualified, we'll try to contact you. That's something we do. We try to contact each angler on a deduction or disqualification. But with cell signal being like it is, we may not be able to contact you. So it's your job during your day to check your stringer. And if all your fish are green, then you need to look at that measurement, because if you submitted a 19 3/4 and you had a cracked mouth on it, then you're going to get an inch deduction. And that's your job to go back in, resubmit a better photograph, and cull that other picture. We've got a very good judge, a person that will work with us on everything we've got. And so you need to get those uploaded. And if you have any trouble getting your fish uploaded, then you need to contact us as well. You need to do that before line's out and your fish submission up, because we will allow a little bit of a buffer for us to meet with you. But that needs to happen well before 3:30. It just does. We're not going to drag things on. So we appreciate everybody's support. We look forward to you this season. I think our next event after this is going to move us into March the 19th, I think it is. We're going to be on Center Hill. We've got several local clubs in that area that'll be a part of that. After that, April the 9th, we're going to go to Kentucky Lake. And then should be May the 21st, we'll be on Lake Gunnersville. And then we'll wrap up on June the 18th on Douglas with the state championship on Lake Chickamauga, August the 27th and 28th. Again, the top 15 from each event, the top 3 in the Cast Club 2022 Angler of the Year race, and the top 15 from this past 2021 Cast State Championship. So thank all of you. Appreciate everything that you do. If you got anything to ask, call this guy.